we are going to do some hips and low back and some fun little flowy stuff today. So with that, I want you to start in an extended child's pose position with your knees nice and wide. Good morning. So knees nice and wide, toes together to touch. So you're in this nice hip opening position. Send your hips back towards your heels. Stretch your arms out in front of you. And then allow your forehead to rest on your mats. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mallory, and I'm really excited to guide you through the next just shy of an hour Vinyasa practice. So if you're just joining, go ahead and find an extended child's pose position. So your toes are together, your knees are wide, and your hips reach back. Your arms stretch out in front of you. We're going to focus on opening up the hips today, as well as moving into the low back and finding some fun, fluid flow. So much of this isolation life has been really stagnant. So I want to just find a rhythm and a flow in today's practice. So in this child's pose position, take a nice big deep breath and let your hips fall a little bit heavier towards your heels. Good. Try to let the forehead rest on your mat, and if that's not available or comfortable for you, you can take a pillow and prop it up underneath your head or anything that suits you. Stretch the fingertips forward. Feel that length growing through the side of the body. Let your rib cage expand. Let that backside body open up. Good morning, everyone that's just hopping on in. Good. Take another really big inhale. And exhale, melt your heart down towards your mat. Good. On your next inhale, walk the hands off to the left. Take your right hand on top of the left hand, draw your right shoulder down. Draw your right hip down towards your heel. Feel that right side body stretch. Yeah, just in that nice child's pose position, opening up through the hips, breathing into the space. On your inhale, walk the hands through the middle, and on your exhale, walk them off to the right. Left hand stacks on top of the right hand. Draw your left shoulder, hip down. We're going to find a rhythm and a flow in this morning's practice, opening up through your low back, opening up through your hips. We're going to get a little fun and playful, and I invite you to let go of any outcomes that you expect, right? So I just want you to flow with your breath and have fun with it. There's no point in stressing ourselves out over what we can and cannot do in this practice. Let's go ahead and walk those hands through the middle. And then rise on up, find a tabletop position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And then just move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So your belly draws down, your chin lifts. Good, that tailbone is lifting up. The shoulders draw away from your ears. On your exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Feel your shoulder blades pull apart from one another. On your inhale, cow pose, belly draws down, opening up through the throat, the heart. Relax the muscles of the face. Exhale into your cat stretch. Good. And then move through this with your breath, inhaling through cow and exhaling through cat at your speed, with your rhythm, whatever that might feel like for you, depending on where you are in the world. You might need to go a little bit slower. If it's first thing, you might want to speed it up a little bit. Good. Take those big inhales and exhales, and then let's start to get a little bit more movement into this. So waking up through the sides of the hips, draw your hips to the right, sweep them down towards your heels, over to the left side, and back up and around. Good. Drawing your shoulders further over the fingertips, building some strength into the wrists. And still really moving with your breath. And then let's take this counterclockwise over to the left side, back towards the heels, all the way up and around. Good. And then let's go ahead and find some stillness in that tabletop position. I want you to take your left leg and send it out to the side, so off of your mat. Take your right hand outside of your right knee, and then reach that left arm up and over. So we're kind of in this weird stacked position, shoulders over the wrists, but you're opening up that whole left side body. Good, so basically just that right knee is on your mat. Really big reach, press to the outer edge of that left foot. Maybe try to shine your heart open. Good, and then as you go ahead and rotate, I want that left knee to come down. I want your left arm to keep reaching forward. Good, draw your chest and shoulder down. Reach it out to the side for me. Good, sweep it back, palm faces down, and then sweep it all the way down. So just finding some movement through that shoulder. Let's try that other side. So reach your right leg out and off to the side. Sweep your left hand outside of your left knee. Stretch up and over with that right arm. Good. Press the left hand away, plugging into the palm, opening up the chest, opening up that right side hip. So I want you to create more space in this whole right side body. Any gaze that feels suitable for you. It can be up, it can be forward, it can be down. Good, another big deep breath. Stretch even further like you're reaching for something. Good, go ahead and draw that right knee back down. Keep your left arm, or right arm, stretch it forward. Good, bicep by the ear, keep your shoulders nice and square. Good, now stretch your right arm out to the side. Take it back, palm down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then take your hand and draw it back down, tabletop position. Good. Now take your knees nice and wide, feet as wide as your mat. Tuck your toes, send your hips up high for a modified downward facing dog. Good, so I want your feet as wide as your mat for this first maybe couple downward facing dogs this morning, just giving you a little bit different position to work with. We're gonna flow a little differently than we would before, so I want you to have fun with it. There's no stress. There's not meant to be any stress in yoga. Pedal out your feet, and what you might find is you can play a little bit more with shaking out your hips. You have a nice sturdy base. Lift your heels up really high. Take your knees, let them hover low, almost like a weird child's pose position. Hips back up high, and then take your heels back down towards your mat. Good, now walk your hands back towards your feet. Good, turn your toes out 45 degrees and sink your hips low. So this might feel like a lot for you already if you have really tight hips, but we're going into that frog pose or malasana. So you might be here if you have that ability to draw your hands together. Press your elbows into your knees. Go ahead and do that, opening up your chest. So you're at the back of your mat in your frog position, lifting. Good, now take those hands down, walk your hands out, find your downward facing dog. Good, feet are still wide for a moment. Shaking and pedaling out those feet, weighting out the hips. Plugging firmly into those hands, lift your tailbone a little bit higher. Good, and this time we're gonna walk our feet up towards our hands. We're gonna keep our feet nice and wide. Good, and then I just want you to wag your hips from side to side for me. So your feet are about as wide as your mat. Maybe you have a bend into your knees, that's perfectly fine. And then I want you to plug your right hand down onto the mat, send your left arm up high. So nice wide stance here. Feel free to bend those knees as long as you can try to extend that left leg as much as possible, that right knee can bend. Or both legs can be straight. Draw the left hand down, same thing on the other side. Left hand goes down, right hand reaches. Try to straighten and extend the right leg, even if that left knee has to bend. Good, go ahead and lower that right hand down, turn those toes out 45 degrees, sink low into that malasana squat frog pose position. Good, plant the hands and those hips up high, forward fold, wide stance, forward fold. Good, sinking the hips low, palms together, lift the chest. Exhale, hands go down, hips rise. Be nice and gentle in these positions. Inhale, lower down, lift the chest. Exhale, send those hips up high. Shimmy those feet together to touch. Good, take as much bend in the knees as you need. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Let the elbows hang down towards your toes. And then shift your weight into the balls of the feet so those hips stack over the ankles. Feel that opening up from the ankles, the calves behind the knees, the hamstrings, and into the low back. Good, go ahead and release the fingertips down towards your toes. Slide the fingertips up the shins as you restack the spine one vertebra at a time. Good, as you come all the way up to the top, take the shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back and down. Good, let's take those arms up really, really high. And then over to the right side. Interlacing your thumbs together, palms shine forward. Good morning, everyone. Good. On your inhale, let's take the fingertips up, 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 and then reach over to the left. So really working around the whole hip. So the front of the hips, the side hips, and into that low back. Good. Go ahead and inhale, reach, hands, palms, press. Lean and open up the heart towards the sky or the ceiling. Spread your arms really wide, palms face forward, interlace all 10 fingers behind, reach your knuckles towards your heels, open up the heart. Big breath into your belly, let it rise and fill up the chest. On your exhale, bend your knees forward, fold knuckles to the sky, crown of the head down. Good. If this is too much for the shoulders, release the fingertips down towards those toes. Otherwise, another big inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and take one more breath. On your exhale, plant those hands down. Step your feet back. Top of a plank position or push-up position. Now, as we go throughout class, you have options to lower down to your knees at any point. But in this chaturanga push-up, I want you to try to keep your elbows close to your ribs. As you glide forward, shoulders over the fingertips, elbows point back, low plank to your belly. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, baby cobra, pause here. Little to no weight in the hands, press firmly into the tops of the feet. Draw the shoulders away from your ears, big breath. Exhale, melt the heart back down. Good, another cobra, inhale, lift, lift, lift. Good, squeezing your bum, pressing into the tops of the feet. Almost like you're pulling those hands back to shine your heart forward. Exhale, melt. Either baby cobra or slide those hands further back to the ribs. Press into the hands, lift the chest, upward facing dog. Good, rolling the shoulders back. Tops of the knees are off of your mat, engaging through the tops of the thighs and the kneecaps. Inner elbow spins forward. And then let's lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good, again, take another moment here in your downward facing dog as we start to feel a little bit more heat building in the body. Let it feel good in your body. Taking any variations. If at any point you need breaks through class, you can find a child's pose position or downward facing dog, or even a meditation seated position. Good. Let's go ahead and inhale. Step your left foot to the middle of your mat. Reach your right leg high to the sky. Three-legged down dog. Good. Roll out that ankle for me. And often I have you do a hip square downward facing dog, but this time I want you to roll the hips to stack. Bend your right knee and draw your right heel towards your left butt cheek. Maybe you look under the right arm. Good. Maybe you bend and extend the leg a little bit. You should feel the front of the hips opening up quite a bit here. Good. Let's go ahead and square it up. Send that right leg straight back, three-legged down dog. And then exhale, step your right foot between your hands. However you need to get there. It might not be sexy or beautiful, that's fine. Lift, knee lowers, untuck the toes. Inhale, rise. Good. Now just plug in here for a moment. Draw the shoulders down. You're nice and square, knees and hips. Good. We're going to have a little bit of a fun flow here. I want you to lunge forward. Send your fingertips forward, belly over your right thigh. Good. On your exhale, sweep the hands back, sweep the hips back. Palms are down. You might not go very far here. That's okay. Find your core. Inhale. Lift. Keep your belly attached to that front thigh. Long, long spine. Exhale, send the hips back. Breathe. Flex the toes. Good. Inhale. Lift. Arms extend. Crown of the head stretches forward. If at any point that's too much, just take your hands down. Exhale, send the hips back. Fingertips reach back. Maybe again you have to take your hands down here. That's fine. Inhale, lift the chest, square it up. Take both hands inside of that right foot. Walk the right foot to the outer edge of your mat. For your runner's lunge or lizard pose. Sink your hips a little lower. Good. Options here. For those of you yogis that know what's up, you can take any variation of your choice. I'll give you some options. You can lower down to your elbows. You can lift up on that back knee, tucking those toes. You can also allow this right knee to really open out to the side, rolling to the outer edge of the right foot. Just taking a moment here to breathe into this right hip. Big inhale through the nose. Maybe let the chin drop towards the chest. And if you are down on those elbows, let's go ahead and rise up to the hands. Keep your left hand planted. Let's take your right hand inside of that right thigh and a gentle, gentle twist. This might feel like a lot for you. Be easy here. If it's too much, just take it back a level. Good. Go ahead and square it all up. Let's take those hands, frame the foot. Send the right foot back, downward facing dog. Taking a moment to pedal that out. You should feel very different from one side to the other. That was a lot of opening, hamstrings, hip flexors, hips. Couple big deep breaths, and then that left leg will rise. Step your right foot to the middle of your mat. Left leg lifts, pressing firmly through the hands, rolling out the ankle. And then go for gold here. Any flexibility you have, I just want it to feel really good in your body. There's not much right or wrong here in what we're doing. Bending that left knee, draw the left heel towards your right butt cheek. Maybe you look under the left arm. Good, let it feel really good. If you've been sitting a lot, either in a chair or on the couch, these hip flexors are getting really tight. Let's go ahead and square up the hips and that left leg straight back. On your exhale, draw that left foot forward, lower the right knee, untuck the toes, inhale, rise, kneeling lunge. Big breath, stretch through the fingertips, plug through the feet and the knee. And then let's go ahead and lunge into that front leg, making sure that that knee isn't over the ankle, the toe. Lunging into the waist, arms stretch forward, good. And then exhale, send the hips back, reach the palms down and fingertips back. Good, inhale, lift and lean forward. Exhale, hips draw back, palms down, trying to draw your chest and belly closer to that left thigh. Inhale, draw it forward, gliding. And again, back. Good, let's go ahead and draw it all the way on up. Lift the chest, take both hands inside of the left foot. Walk the left foot to the outer edge of your mat. Find your same runner's lunge or lizard position on the other side. So hands can be planted, elbows can be down, back knee can be lifted onto the ball of the right foot. And then that last option is to roll that left knee out to the side. Quite an intense stretch, so big deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing the back of the neck to relax. If you are down on those elbows, let's go ahead and rise up to the hands. Take that left hand inside of the left knee and then roll it open. You're just assisting that stretch just a little bit. We're not forcing anything. Always going for gentle tension. You should feel the muscles lengthening, but no sharp pain, no shooting pain. Good. Let's go ahead and draw that left foot back. Square up the hands and shoulders. Draw that left foot all the way back, downward facing dog. Again, taking a moment to pedal out your feet and shake out your hips. As you draw your chest closer to your thighs, biceps are by your ears. Try to get your heels a little bit lower down. Good. Let's look up to the top of your mat. Step walk or float your feet all the way up to the top. Good. On your inhale, find a half lift or flat back position. On your exhale, forward fold. Let everything go. Release that tension. On your inhale, send your arms out wide all the way up to the sky, lifting and opening up the chest. On your exhale, take the arms down by your side, mountain pose. Palms forward, draw the shoulders back, soften the eyes for a moment. Just feel this new heat in the body. Feel where you might already be a little bit softer, holding a little less tension. Let's blink the eyes open. Inhale, reach the hands up high. Exhale, shine the heart forward, swan dive into a forward fold. Inhale, find a half lift or flat back position, long spine. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step your feet back, top of your push-up. Good. We're just going to build a bit more flow, moving through our sun A. Draw to the tippy toes, maybe to your knees. All the way to your low plank or hover. Inhale, lift the chest, upward dog, or maybe your baby cobra like we did before. Exhale, hips up high, downward facing dog. Taking a big deep breath. Exhale it out. Go ahead and look to the top of your mat. Step walk or maybe jump your feet between your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Knees and thighs draw together. Your hips sink low, chest lifts. Good, so I want you to draw your navel in towards your spine. Sit your weight back towards those heels. Remember, you should be able to see all 10 toes. If you can't, you just need to send those knees further back and your hips further back. If this is too much strain on the neck and shoulders, just draw your hands to prayer. Or join me here as you send the fingertips back, just like we did before. Inhale, lift. Sink lower into those hips. Exhale. Strong tone through the backs of the arms. Inhale. Energizing through the fingertips. One more time. Exhale. This time, inhale, stand all the way up, palms press. Exhale, swan dive into a forward fold. Beautiful job. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step it back, top of a push-up. High plank. Moving through your vinyasa as you exhale, low plank, or to your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, or maybe child's pose. Taking a breath. Another big inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, take your left foot, square it up in the center of your mat as your right leg rises high. Three-legged down dog. Really extend that right leg as high as your body can allow. Bending that right knee, opening up the hips, waking up the ankle, the toes. Good. Let's go ahead and send that right leg straight back. Exhale, hollow out the belly, draw your right foot between the hands. Low lunge position. Good, take that left hand inside of the right foot. Inhale, right hand rises. Try to sink your hips a little bit lower here. And try to draw that right knee towards the midline of the body. So it's naturally going to want to roll out. Keep reaching through the right fingertips and pressing through the left hand. Good. Take that right hand down. And then on your inhale, lift the chest, crescent lunge. Good. Sinking a little bit lower, engaging through the butt cheeks. Lift the back of the left knee and reach that left heel down. Good. On your exhale, draw the chest forward, palms reach back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Feel your weight shift slightly forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover the chest over the side. Inhale, lift. Spin that left heel down. Take the hands behind the low back. Reach your knuckles back, lift the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Right shoulder inside of the right knee. Good. So this is a slightly different variation than our runner's lunge. Get a little bit lower into those hips. Let the crown of the head fall really heavy. Head in. Release those hands. Inhale, square up the hips. Warrior one position. So warrior one, you have a 45 or so degree angle in the back foot, but the hips draw forward. Plunging into that right leg. And then let's exhale, open up to a warrior two. So feel free to widen your stance if necessary. Right knee points over the right toe. Good. Opening up the hips, pressing the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, straighten the right leg, bring the hands together. Lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, extend, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift. Hold here. Take that left hand, slide it down that back left leg. Reverse triangle pose. So feel that right side hip opening up. Good, go ahead and come back to that warrior two position. And then let's take the hands to prayer, shifting all of your weight over to the left side. Right toes point forward and lean into that left side. Good, so here you might need the hands. You might feel really comfortable flexing that right toe up towards the sky. This might feel like a lot for you. Use those hands as much as you need. We're just getting a big stretch through the hips and that right inner thigh. Good, big breath here, guys. Smile, it makes everything more enjoyable. Let's take the hands down to your mat. Walk them all the way forward. Frame the hands to the foot, send your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Lots of movement just happened there. Just like our warm-up, right? Shake out those hips, pedaling out those feet. Now take your right foot to the center of the mat. Send your left leg straight up. Three-legged down dog. Find that flexibility. Find your depth here. We're not limiting you by keeping your hips square. Try to keep your right heel reaching down. Let your shoulders square. Feel free to open up the hips if that feels okay. Which essentially just means you're bending that left knee, and then you're trying to stack that left hip on top of the right hip. It's a little bit of a twist through the spine. Good, let's go ahead and square up those hips this time. Send that left leg straight back. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Adjust your feet however you need. Sink even lower into those hips. Actively reaching that right heel back. Left knee draws inwards. Right hand presses down, left hand rises. So just notice, check in here, that's what the breath is for, where you're being a little lazy, right? You might just be passive in these positions. I want you to actively be pressing, reaching, lengthening. Good, let's take that left hand down. Let's inhale, lift, crescent lunge. Sink for a second. See if you can get a little lower. Let's build some strength into that left leg. Draw the shoulders down and away. Draw the hips and chest forward. Exhale. Draw your chest forward as your fingertips reach back. I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Tone through the triceps. Palms face down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hover. Active through the arms. Open chest, open heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, chest hovers. Feel your weight shift forward. Good. Inhale, lifts. Spin that right heel down. Take the hands behind the low back. Find the different grip, right? You naturally go to one. Find the opposite one. Open up the chest. Lunge a little bit further forward. Exhale, humble warrior. Left shoulder inside of the left knee. Okay, this is a pretty intense hip stretch, shoulder stretch. If you're spending a lot of time in this forward position, this allows you to open up the front. Big breath. Go ahead and release the hands. Lift the fingertips, square up the chest, pressing to the outer edge of the foot, and then let's blossom up into warrior two. Good, take that alignment adjustment or the foot adjustment. Wider feet if necessary, draw the shoulders down. Make sure that that left knee is reaching towards your left pinky toe. On your inhale, straighten the left leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, flow, warrior two. I want you to find more depth every time you come into it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, a little bit lower. Good, inhale, rise. One more time, exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Right arm stretches down that right leg. Left arm reaches up and over. Good. Try to lift out of the waist here. Relax the right shoulder. Good, and then let's find our warrior two position. Let's draw the hands together. We're basically going to shift all of our weight over to that right side. So as you extend your left leg, the left toes point in the same direction as your right, and then you lean into that right leg. At this point, the left toes can flip upwards, arms can stretch, palms can be here, hands can go down. You might be thinking, heck no, in which case you can be right here, and that's fine. Take a big breath. Sinking a little bit more into those hips. Softening the shoulders, the muscles of the face. Beautiful job, guys. All right, let's go ahead and plant those hands down. Walk them to that left foot. Frame up the hands and then step that left foot back, downward facing dog. As you pedal out your feet and shake out your hips, take a moment to breathe. Feel free to take any extra breaks. Bring that heart rate down. Feel free to take a child's pose. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Depending on where you are in this practice, this could feel really nice, or this could feel like quite a challenge. That's okay. The whole point is to let you learn your challenges and to help you grow. Let's go ahead and look up between the hands. Take both feet, step them outside of your hands. Going back to that Malasana position or frog pose. Hips sink low, palms press. Try to draw the knees inside of the elbows inside of the knees. So imagining your spine as a string of pearls just dangling down. Opening up your chest in the process. So if you struggle with tight hips, this is going to feel like a lot for you. If this is ever too much and you just can't hang here comfortably, you can always find a seated butterfly position or Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Good, we're staking it out here as you press your hands down, lift your hips. Take a moment to shake it from side to side. And then let's go ahead and send those hips back low. Walk the right hand forward and then send that left hand high. So it's almost like you're trying to draw your right shoulder now into that right knee as you reach. Good, big stretch through that left fingertip. And then let's draw that left hand down. Stretch the left arm forward. Try to bring the left shoulder inside of the left knee and reach your right hand high. And I fully respect and understand that this might not be accessible for you. Just do what you can. Yoga is about the journey. It's not about the destination. Every day is going to feel totally different than the other. Let's go ahead and take those hands down, pressing palms together. I want you to root and ground through the soles of the feet. As you inhale, press through the heels, rise all the way on up. Good, as you exhale, take the hands down, shimmy those feet together, top of your mat, mountain pose. Inhale, breathe it up. Exhale, shine your heart forward, swan dive into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, move through your vinyasa, bend your knees, plant the hands, walk it back to a high plank or modified plank. Exhale, low plank and hover, or to your belly. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, hips up, downward facing dog. Big deep breath, send the tailbone a little bit higher. Exhale, reach those heels a little bit lower. We're gonna go through that flow another time, giving you more variations, more opportunities to challenge your practice, or you can always go back to what we just did. Bring that left foot to the center of your mat as you inhale, reach your right leg high. Good. Now stay here or bend that knee, drawing that right heel towards your left butt cheek. And stay here, or that last advanced option is to flip your dog. Drawing that right foot outside of the left mat. Sending your hips up high, reaching that right arm up and back. Opening up the whole front side body. And I fully recognize, once again, that this might be completely out of your realm, but if you never know, you'll never be able to get there someday, right? Good, look down at the left hand. If your dog is flipped, take that right hand back down. Let's all square up the hips and that right leg straight back. On your exhale, step the right foot through, however you need to get it there. It doesn't need to be perfect. Inhale, lift the chest, crescent lunge. Your feet are hip distance apart here, so no need to walk a tightrope. On your exhale, belly hovers over the thighs, reach the fingers back. Feel your weight shift, shoulder blades squeeze and open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover the thigh. Reach the fingertips to that left heel. Inhale, lift. And this next one, either find or hover or launch off of that back foot, airplane pose. Good, finding the length, the whole back of the body. Extending through the crown of the head, shoulder blades squeeze together, chest opens. Nice. Another big breath. Now, as slow and controlled as you can, let's bend that left knee, bring the right knee, bend the left foot down. Inhale to rise. Left and right, we're next step there. Good, warrior one position. Let's take the hands behind the back, we've been here. Reach the knuckles back, lift the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Right shoulder inside of that right knee. Crown of the head stretches down, sink into those hips. Not here as long, so take one more big breath. Exhale. Release the hands, inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Move those feet, adjust those feet, find that deep lunge. Inhale, hands press, right leg straightens, lift your gaze. Exhale, find that deep warrior two position. So try to find more depth as you lower here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, lift, slide that left hand back, right arm reaches up and over. Good, and then draw that arms out wide, right toes point forward. Both hands are stretching, both toes point straight towards me. Good, and then let's bring our hands together as you lunge into that left leg, the right toes flex. Maybe you take your hands down. Good, maybe you stretch those arms forward. Maybe you bring your palms together, bring your arms up. That's a hard one. Good. Let's take the hands down. Walk it to the front of your mat. Take both hands inside of that right foot. Your big challenge for today, as if it wasn't enough already. Right foot steps back, both feet stack. Shift your weight into that right side for right side plank, Vashisthasana. Good, so here, I want, whether it's your hand or your elbow down on the mat, I want your shoulder stacked over it. You can also take that bottom knee down and lift the chest. Lift the heart, stretch those fingertips high. Like a string, pulling the hips even higher, working those obliques. Beautiful job, guys. And then let's draw that left hand down. Take an optional Vinyasa, high to low plank, or meet in downward facing dog. Exhale, hips up, breathe it out. Beautiful. Nice big breath. Tailbone stretches high, press firmly through the hands, draw the shoulder blades towards the tailbone. So your shoulders are away from your ears, your inner elbow spins forward. Let's take that right foot in to the center of the mat. Reach your left leg high. Anything goes here. Find your flexibility. Good. Now bend that knee if it feels good, drawing your left heel towards your right butt cheek. Maybe you rotate to stack the hips. Maybe you're ready to flip your dog. If you're flipping your dog, I'll try to talk you through it again. You're going to spin that right inner arch of the foot down, or outer arch, sorry, outer edge. As that left foot goes to the right side of your mat. So now your right leg is straight, left knee is bent. Hips lift, right arm supports. Good, so you're actually quite supported here. You have a tabletop, three-legged tabletop position. Keep stretching and lifting that front side body up. Squeeze your glutes. Good. Go ahead and look down at the right hand. Take the left hand down, send that left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot through. Low lunge. Just that step through alone is an enormous amount of hip mobility. So if you struggle with that, it might just mean tight hips. Inhale, rise. Soften the shoulders, sink low. Good. Inhale. As you exhale, hover the belly over the thigh, reach the fingertips back. Toning through the arms, open the chest. Inhale, lift. You can really be active here. Extending through the fingertips, exhale. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, lift the chest, fingertips gaze. Exhale, hover the belly, arms reach back. Stay here or launch off of that back foot. Airplane pose. Good. Keep extending those fingertips backwards. Opening up the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Good, and as you soften the left knee, the right foot goes down. Warrior one. So that back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Hips are square. Arms extend. Take the hands behind your back to that opposite grip that you would normally find. Reach the knuckles down behind you, lift the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Good. Find a depth that serves you, that helps you open, that helps you build your flexibility, your mobility, something that you can still breathe through. A good cue is if you're holding a position and your breath has become stagnant, you might be a little bit past your depth. Release those hands. Inhale, open up to your warrior two position, adjusting those feet as necessary, softening the shoulders. Straighten the left leg. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, lunge into that warrior two. More depth. Find it. Hips should be plenty open by now. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Send that right arm down and back. Reach that left arm up and over. Soften the right shoulder. Good, go ahead and send the arms out wide. Send the left toes, rotate them forward. And then shift your weight to that right leg. Good. Sending the left toes up towards the sky, softening the shoulder. Good job, guys. Big breath. Exhale. Remember, you can have those hands down. You can be here if you need to. Good, let's take those hands down. Walk to the front of your mat. Frame both hands inside of that left foot. Take your left foot back. Shift all of your weight to the left side, stacking your feet, stacking the shoulders and arms. Good, modifications are to go down to your bottom, go down to the left elbow or go down to the bottom knee or both. Please let go of your ego here. We don't need to be a hero. This is about a practice, ongoing practice, not a one and done. Good. Lift those hips even higher, strengthening through the obliques. For those of you yogis that like to play with leg variations, go for gold. Let's go ahead and take that right hand down. Move through your vinyasa of choice or meet in downward facing dog. Let's all take one big breath in our downward dog. And then lift those heels, lower the knees, toes together, knees wide, child's pose. Just melt down for a moment. Reconnect with your breath. Feel your breath and your heart rate rise. Feel the heat radiating around your midsection, down the limbs. Feel that openness in the hips, just in our child's pose position. Good. Breathing into your low back. Let's go ahead and rise up through tabletop, downward facing dog. Let's start to wind it down a little bit. Reach your right leg up high to the sky. On your exhale, take your right knee behind your right wrist for our pigeon pose, extending your left leg back. Walk the hands back towards your hips, lift the chest. Good, and then sink the hips low. Walk the hands out to any depth. Softening those shoulders, muscles of the face. Maybe melting your chest all the way down. Maybe stretching your fingertips forward. Wherever you might be though, just take a moment, because I'm not right next to you, to be able to adjust your position, that you're equally weighted through both hips, side to side. Right? So that you feel like you're not leaning over into that right butt cheek too much. For any reason this one is too much for knees, for those of you that might struggle with knee injuries, you can always take a seated position, crossing your right leg over the left, and then hugging that right knee towards your left shoulder. So once again, please respect where you are. And having this ability to practice maybe by yourself at home, you can let go of what others might think, even though we should anyways, and truly do what feels good in your body with zero judgment. Good. Good. Wherever you may be, let's go ahead and lift the chest. Tuck your left toes. Let's all meet in our downward facing dog. Maybe you shoot that right leg straight up again if that feels good. Again, I invite you to learn your flow in your body. And while I guide you through practice, do what feels good for you. Let's inhale the left leg high. Half pigeon on the other side. Exhale, send that left knee behind the left wrist. Walk that right foot back and then take your hips to lift. Chest rises. Sink the hips low. Walk the hands forward. Find your depth. Find your breath. Find that opening through that left hip. Soften where you do not need to be holding on to tension. And if for any reason you can't seem to soften this position, then you can sit up tall, extend your right leg. Cross your left leg over, and then hug that left knee towards the right shoulder. Good. So if you create enough force, you're going to start to open up that left hip outside of the glutes. Lengthen through your spine a little bit more. Good. Let's go ahead and take those hands back. Lift the chest. Tuck your right toes. Let's all meet in our final downward facing dog of the morning. Again, pedaling out your feet, taking any last movements, maybe that three-legged dog. Maybe it's lifting the heels and lowering or shaking them out. And look up between your hands, step walk or hop your feet all the way through. Coming to seated with your legs extended out in front of you. Coming onto those sits bones. Reach up really, really high. And then I invite you to maybe bend your knees if you have tight hamstrings as you let your belly hover over the thighs. So the objective here, while it is important to open up our hamstrings, and while they are connected to our low back and our whole posterior chain, which creates a lot of low back pain, if you're feeling more stretch through your hamstrings than your low back, then bend your knees, okay? Otherwise, for those of you with extended legs, try to soften the shoulders. Try to literally melt your torso over your thighs. Crown of the head towards, the forehead towards the knees or the shins. Maybe you assist it by grabbing the edges of the feet, bending those elbows and drawing the chest further down towards the thighs. Slowly rise on up. Bend the knees, plant the feet. Let's go ahead and draw the knees and thighs together. Send the fingertips forward. Roll down one vertebra at a time with control. And as you come all the way down, take the knees into the chest. Massage out the low back by drawing circles on the ceiling. And then take the knees nice and wide. Grab the outer edges of the feet if that's available for your happy baby pose. Last little hip opener. Rocking side to side. If that's too much, you can grab behind the knees or grab the ankles. Feel free to extend one or both legs. The feet and knees will come together. Your left leg will extend long down your mat. Your left arm pulls that right leg across the body for your spinal twist. Right arm reaches out to the side. Turn your gaze down that right arm. Breathing into the twist, try to draw your right shoulder down, that right knee down. Big inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, take your right knee into the chest. And then take that left knee to follow. Both knees squeeze nice and tight as your right leg extends long down your mats. That right hand pulls the left leg across the body. Left arm reaches out wide, spinal twist on the other side. Drawing the shoulders down, palm is down, turn gaze down the left fingertips to complete the twist. Breathing into your midsection, into your core. And then finally drawing that left knee into the chest, followed by the right. Wrapping your arms around your shins, giving yourself a nice big squeeze, pulling the eyes towards the ribs, and then the forehead to the knees, taking a big inhale. Giving yourself some love and appreciation for the practice. Side out as you melt into your final Shavasana. Legs extend long, as wide as your mat, arms down by your side. Glide the shoulder blades down towards the heels, flip the palms. Let the inner thighs roll open, let the hips melt open the chest. Soften the muscles of the face, the forehead, the cheekbones, the jaw. The tongue from the roof of the mouth, and let your breath flow freely. Slowly deepen your breath. Feel your belly and your chest rise, and let that new, renewed breath travel down your limbs. Swirling around your upper thigh, around your knees, your calves, across your collarbone, into your palms. You start to bring some movement back into your limbs. You can wiggle the fingers gently at the toes. And then on your next inhale, I invite you to take a really nice long full body stretch. Fingertips reach to the back, toes to the front, ankles together. Create this really nice long line, this length through that whole front side body. As you take the knees up towards the chest, keep one arm right next to the head as you roll to that side. Rest your head on your arm as a pillow and find a comfortable fetal position. Lying on your side, knees, hips are stacked. Finding the comfort, the nurture, and the support in this position. Finding this moment of stillness, of peace, of slow transitions. Your next inhale, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Any position that suits you, closing down the eyelids and taking the palms together to prayer, to your heart center. Rooting through your sits bones, extend really tall through the crown of the head, roll the shoulders back, shine your heart forward, and find this warmth within the palms, this heat that we've generated, this passion, this love, the gratitude. The ability to move no matter what shape or form, non-judgment, the ability to share this practice, even from afar, even virtually. Finding that peace within you, that breath, that strength, that openness. As you lift your thumbs up to your forehead, your third eye center, your seat of enlightenment. As always, with an enormous amount of gratitude from my heart to yours, thank you for letting me share my passion and joining me this morning. Namaste.